All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis life healer coach, and your personal guide. So today's pod is, for some, today may be a very auspicious day, a very special day, because for those of you who do celebrate Father's Day, this is that day where, I'm sure on your social feeds, you'll see pictures of people, sharing photos of their parent, their father. And for a lot of people, this is a day that's sort of like a bittersweet day, because obviously, when we think about our own parents, a lot of us have very different relationships. Some are all hunky dory, and some are very mixed. A lot of happy times, and also a lot of strife, a lot of angst. And so the reason why, of course, I'm recording this pod today is one, of course, we do our daily pod. So every day is an occasion to show up and do this pod. But the second, of course, as I said, today is an opportunity to really look at and relook at our own personal history. So, especially as a healer, as a coach, or as a healer coach like me, when you're um, doing your personal work and you really want to show up in the best possible way so that you can give more of yourself to your clients, to your students, to people in your community. um, Personal history has a lot to play. And so when we are working with people, obviously, the more we're able to work on our own selves, the more we're able to be unbiased, the more we're able to hold that space for them. And therefore, when we think about personal history, it's so important to to have the tools, to have the mindset where we're able to really look at history in a very different way than maybe something that we've been thinking of for years. By this, I mean that maybe you had a troublesome childhood, or maybe there were points in your life where you're not very happy, maybe you were not treated the way that you had wished for. And so now as an adult, when you look back, the question is, how do you really reshape the way you think about your history? And one part is, of course, reshaping history. The other is, and this is something that I always ask my students, I always ask members of our community, a simple question, which is, what do you want? And so once you get really clear on what it is that you want, even when it comes to, and especially when it comes to relationships, that is the first step. So once you know what you want, then you're in a better position to be able to ask, useful, powerful questions to people who are, who you have this relationship with, whether it's your parents or your siblings, or for that matter, even strangers that we come across. Because once we get really clear about what we really want, then it becomes easier to ask open ended questions that will help other people also tell you what they want. And I see this very often in the work that I do. Clients, students dealing with and working through their relationships. It is so powerful to notice how their perspective changes when they start to ask these questions. And especially when you start to ask these questions to yourself first, that means you're really willing to do the work. And so when you're asking yourself these questions, you are making sure that you are more informed. And so, obviously, when you are more informed, when you are really clear about what it is that you want, then it becomes easier for you to shape the future of your relationships. And coming back, of course, to the core of today's theme, which is everything to do with the history that you have, you can most definitely reshape the history. You can re-look at history from a very different perspective, because now you have the tools. And especially if you're somebody who's already on the path, the good news is, of course, you already now have these tools. And there are two ways to do it. Of course, one is through self-examination, where you make it a point to work on, parts of your relationship where you're wanting to make that shift. And the other, of course, is when you're part of a community that is here to support you so that you can really, you know, relook at how you think about your history and how you want to rewrite your history. Because remember, whatever happened in your life, it happened only once, no matter how painful that moment was. It's the reliving of it that we do over and over again, to the point where we start to see it as the ultimate truth, when in reality, that's not the case. No matter how someone was to you or what they said to you, that was said once. That one specific incident happened once. There may have been repetitions of it, but each one of them is a separate incident. So when you very often go back to the root, to the earliest recollection of that incident, or the real earliest reflection of that feeling that you have, maybe you were mistreated. So when you go back, for example, to the earliest memory of being mistreated, and you now decide to relook at and to change the way that you are choosing to respond. It may sound very kooky, but the truth is that when you start to make a shift in your responses internally, it starts to spread into all areas of your life. So, if this is something that sounds intriguing to you, and you've not been able to do it yet, then definitely come and tune into what we do in our community, because we do a lot of this inner work. And the intention, of course, is that when you're able to really truly connect to your soul identity, that is what ultimately will help you have amazing money breakthroughs. So, as always, a reminder to keep showing up and keep doing the work. And before I go, of course, a couple of things just to remember, that we meet every Monday and Friday. We meet live between 6 and 7. This is, of course, a complimentary membership. So you can come in and experience what it is to be part of our community. And if you like what we do here, then, of course, you can uh, stick around. We have many programs. A lot of our programs are live. And in fact, at present, we are doing the foundation program. This is a 3-day process, happens every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. And of course, we do another batch on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, between 7 and 9 p.m. And once you've experienced this, if you truly connect with this and you believe that it can make a difference in your journey, then you're welcome to stick around. And we do have the advanced program. This is a 3-month renewable membership. So we get to go deeper into the process, and we do this over a 3-month period. And while we are doing this, we want to learn the skills, and you want me to teach you this, then of course you can be part of our mastery program. This is a 90-day process, and once you've gone deep enough, you'll realize that you can apply a lot of these in your own life, of course, in the lives of people who you care about, your family, your friends, and of course in the work that you do, especially if you're a healer, a coach, or a healer coach like me. And lastly, of course, if you are looking to be mentored or you want to be coached by me, then there is a personal coaching program, and slots open up from time to time. So look out, and you're, of course, welcome to ask more details about this. And of course, as always, having said all of this, remember to live your purpose. God bless. And of course, I will see you